Hi everyone, happy 4th of July and happy day 14 of 100 Days of Kane, PA. I'm Kate Kennedy and today we're going to talk with Kane graduate and Navy veteran Dave Swanson about his time overseas and how he felt connected to Kane even when he was far away. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to flip you around. We're going to talk to Dave. Hello Dave, happy 4th.
Good morning, happy 4th of July to everybody.
It's great to see you today. Thanks for talking with us.
Well, thanks for asking.
Okay, so how did you decide to go into the military?
Well, when I was a junior in high school, I just decided not really cut out for college and wanted to go in the military. Most of my family members, most of the males back to the Civil War, have served in the military. I have a long history, and I just wanted to do that. Just something that didn't happen, and that's where I was going to go.
And what branch did you go into?
I went in the Navy.
And why did you choose the Navy?
Well, I looked at all the different services, and I'm not really sure what the final thing was, but I was looking for a specific training. I know that, and I wanted in the electronics field. The Navy had the best electronics training, and they had cool uniforms, and they went around the world and wanted to be a sailor.
So you decided your junior year of high school that you wanted to do this. When did you leave?
I signed up when I was a junior, and I left 7 days after graduation. It was June 13th, 1982, and my mom took me down to the bus stop in Warren, and off to Buffalo I went.
And what was that like for you leaving Kane to go in?
I was excited. I was excited. I was the first one in my class to leave for the military. We had a lot of people from my graduating class go in the service, and I was the first one out, and I was excited. I was thrilled. It was an exciting moment for me.
And so you were deployed multiple times, right?
I did. I was stationed on a destroyer and a cruiser. I did just a shade under 6 years at sea with those two ships. I did 2 deployments to the Persian Gulf and multiple small ones, 1 to 3 month deployments.
So you're out in the middle of the ocean and far, far away from Kane. How did you stay connected, and how did the community support you when you were away?
Well, obviously that was before social media and FaceTime and all this kind of stuff. So it was the old letter writing and cards. So whenever I would pull into a port somewhere, just like everybody else, we would get postcards, and mail back to your loved ones where you're at. You know, postcards from Australia or France or India, wherever we were at. We'd also get the Navy was really good with mail call, and so mail call was kind of a big deal. And you think, well, you got a ship out in the middle of the ocean, how do you get mail? All the mail for the Navy for the Western Hemisphere went through San Francisco, and from there it'd be flown out to bigger ships, aircraft carriers or tankers, and eventually it would work its way to your ship where you're at. So we would get a helicopter would fly out when we would get close to one of these ships or to land, and they literally had a mailbag, and they tossed it out the side of the door of the helicopter, and it landed on the fan tail of the ship, and hopefully it got grabbed. You know, we never lost it, but I heard stories of mailbags going over the side, and then they're gone. So they threw a mailbag or two out, and a couple hours later we had mail call, and it was fantastic. We would get you know, cards and letters, pictures from back home, and that was major excitement.
So who were the people from home that were faithful in writing to you?
Oh, my mom a lot. My dad didn't. He would just tell my mom what to write, and you know, a lot of classmates, and I had some other relatives who had been deployed, say during the Vietnam War, things like that. They knew what letters meant, so I got a pretty good mail response.
And what was it like for you when your time serving overseas was done and you came back home?
When I was completely done?
Or just, when you were completely done, you came home.
Yeah, so I came home, and it was like I had lost, not lost, but like it was, you know, those 7 years I was gone, come back, and Kane was different. A lot of things had changed in Kane. People had moved. New people had moved in. It was like moving to a different town. And after I was back for a while, then you get back in touch with everything and meet some old friends you haven't talked to in a decade, and you make new friends. So it was just like moving to a new area again. But it was very well received. Kane's a great town.
And so when you would come home while you were still serving, like what was it like when you'd go out and see people, and how would they talk to you or treat you?
Well, I'd run into people maybe I went to school with or knew from school, playing Little League growing up or things like that. You run into them and they want to know what you're doing. Well, I'm in the Navy, and where you been? Well, I've been here, and here, and I skied in the Alps, and I ate steak in Australia, and escorted tankers in the Persian Gulf, and et cetera, et cetera. What do you do? I'm in college.
So you had the adventure.
The conversation always went back to me. Well, what's like to ski in the Alps? What's like being on a ship? It was always where you been, what are you doing? And nobody has stories like that. So.
And Kane is pretty proud of their veterans, right?
Kane's very proud of his veterans. Kane's a very patriotic town. Our high school classes average 10%, 8 to 12% graduates go into military. That's what Kane is. It's always been that way. A few years ago, now we're still, it's not at the peak or anything, but a few years ago, we're still embroiled in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we've had a lot of veterans, high school graduates here deployed there. Our high school class, I'm guessing maybe 4 years ago, was 18% of the class went in the military. And that's just, it might have been 20%. I think it was 18 went in. It's just phenomenal. And the national average is less than 1%. And Kane's 10 to 20 times that. So, it just shows you the level of patriotism in this town. It's a very patriotic town.
And today's a holiday. It's the 4th of July. And I know when you're serving, you miss a lot of holidays. So could you share a memory of a holiday that you when you were away that you came back for, and what that was like for you?
The biggest one was I've been gone for a few years, and I came home for Christmas one year. I think I was still stationed in Hawaii, which is a long flight, a lot of travel. It's many miles, and it wasn't cheap. And I managed to come home for Christmas one year, and all my family was there. They all came over. My grandfather was there; he was still alive. My brother had a couple of young kids, so I had a niece and nephew that I really didn't know. But the whole family was there, and it was a great time over Christmas, and got a lot of catching up and things like that. I never made home for like July 4th, like today or anything like that. It was, you try to get home for Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, that kind of stuff. And it was a fantastic 7 days or 10 days, wherever I could get off. It was hard to get lengthy time off from a warship, from a United States Navy warship, because we're going all the time. You just don't have a month to split, to go home. So it was very difficult being stationed halfway around the world. And so that one specific time was the most memorable.
And that was at your parents' house. Where did they live?
That was at my parents' house, and we lived over here on North Fraley Street, next to the Tasty Freeze now, which is gone there. The car wash is there now, but we were the last house in Kane. And it was a great place to come home to.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share today?
I do. July 4th, this is the 243rd birthday of the United States of America, and we are the best country, hands down, on the planet. We're the freest. We've freed more people. We've brought more people out of poverty. Basically have eliminated tyranny around the world, and people die to come here. People kill to come here. People want to be here because we are the best country on the planet. We have a lot of freedoms. And it was founded on pure freedoms in the 18th century. And a lot of people have served in the military. A lot of people have given their lives to maintain those freedoms. And we need to not let the rock of freedom be chipped away. We need to maintain those freedoms as laid out in the Constitution. 56 people signed the Declaration of Independence, and when they signed that, they knew that if this didn't succeed, they would all hang. So they had a lot on the line, but it was worth a shot to have a free country like this. So we need to make sure that we celebrate it. You celebrate it any way you can, whether it's a barbecue or going down the dam or something. Everybody needs to celebrate today. I know some people work. and there's still a way you can celebrate it. Putting a flag out, wearing red, white, and blue, such as your pretty red shirt you have on today. Everybody needs to celebrate this. This should be the most boisterous holiday we have throughout the year. Fireworks, parades, whatever we can do. But I want to stress that one thing that we all need to do today is remember that we have hundreds of thousands of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen around the world. They're at outposts and they're at ships at sea, maintaining freedom of the seas, maintaining our interest overseas, keeping the bad guys overseas so they don't come here. So we need to remember them today, also, even if it's just for a minute. So.
Yeah, well, thanks, Steve, so much for your time, and I hope that you're doing something fun to celebrate. What are you guys doing today?
We're going up to Chautauqua Lake today.
Oh, it is a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Both my daughter and son are home, and
awesome.
my two grandsons, and we got a big day planned on the lake. So
awesome. Well, enjoy.
Well, thank you very much, and happy 4th of July, everybody. Make sure you celebrate.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope that you guys have a great 4th of July, and I think that's a great point that Dave brought up, that we still have people who are away today. It's the 4th of July. We're here celebrating and enjoying our freedom while there's still people out there protecting it. And so take a minute to remember them today. And I know that so many of you guys know and love people who have served or are serving, and I'm curious, what do you do to support them while they're overseas? I know it's a different time than what Dave was talking about, their social media and things, but in the comments below, write what you do to support our troops overseas. I know so many of you are connected in that way. So thanks for tuning in. Be safe today. Have a blast. It's a gorgeous day, and happy 4th of July, and I'll see you tomorrow.